Good evening. I wasn't going to make a recording about this, but I started reading about military units that are. They had people who were white supremacists uh, in the ranks, and some of them get out. Like one guy I looked at, I think he was a sergeant or something. He got out. And like 2 tours, robbed an Iraqi taxi driver for like $43. Did 5 years in prison. Lost, then went to college and was trying to start up white supremacist groups. And I'm reading through the comments. I do that a lot now. And there was guys on there talking about, let's talk about the NAACP, the Black Caucus, and Black Muslims. And I that shit shocked me because I'm like, dude, we could talk about it, but they're not out here shooting up schools and churches and, you know what I mean? Like, there is no networks of that. We've had the guy with the bombs in the mail, the Charleston shooter, shot up a black church, the Christchurch shooter in Australia, in New Zealand, I'm sorry, the Pittsburgh synagogue shooter. You have a established relationship between these terrorists, what I call them, and organized groups online. I don't think that we as black people have formal unions. I don't think black people have that. I think that anybody that's trying to say that about black people is being kind of facetious, but that's what a straw man is about. See, when they say things like that, it's to take away from the horror of white mass shooters happening every day now, all over the country. So rather than deal with why are these white men doing this, your response is, well, let's deal with Antifa. And I see it on YouTube all the time now. I'll be on Dark Five. I'll be on documentaries and like I said, Dark Five and sci-fi stuff. And you always get one or two. Oh, well, they communists, Antifa, you saw Antifa. I'm just like, what? Like, what are you talking about, man? What are you? You're not making sense. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all. Not supposed to make sense when they say things like that. That's nuts, man. Because they're not out here shooting up churches and schools. That's not an existential threat. That may be a threat. You may have black Muslims that have done things, but you can't prove that. I can prove to you about the synagogue shooter. I mean, the one in Pittsburgh. I can prove that. That's proven. Last comment he made, he said, "Screw your optics. I'm going in." Talking about Trump. And that, talking about black Muslims, that goes in league with what other things I've been hearing about how they say all these mass shooters are not Trump supporters. Totally irrelevant. Once again, trying to shift the narrative from violence to, oh, well, it's not that bad. You guys are over-dramatizing. If anything, these guys are saying Trump don't go far enough. But I know that's what conservatives do. They have to dumb down the discussion. That's what they do. They have to dumb it down. And, well, Hitler was a socialist. Well, he was, but that was socialism for white people. That wasn't fair. That wasn't like worldwide, so we need to have a worldwide socialist. That's not what that was. And from what I've heard, that really wasn't even true. He was just saying that to please people, because that's just, they were used to a higher standard of living back then. He didn't want to come out saying we're gonna have a war state. No, he's like, we're gonna have socialism, but I'm gonna do it by taking from those Jews over there, and we're gonna blame them for all the social maladies that Germany's going through. That's what that was. But conservatives just want to say, oh, socialism, while ignoring what really came out. It's like saying the Democrats are the party of the people that had slavery. Republicans are, yeah, that's true. Until 65, when they switched to Dixiecrats, they switched over to Republican. You see what I'm saying? That's what I call burying the lead. You say something that, yes, in part, it was once true, Yes. But in 2019, hell no. Ain't been to for the last 40, 50 years, some of that stuff. That's what you do when you're living in the past. You're living in the past, remember? You're people who are living in the past. But all this is just distraction. See, look, man, this is the danger of having a Trump presidency. I don't think Trump can do the wall or do this white supremacist nonsense he talks about. It's just more virtue signaling, if you want to use a phrase from InfoWars. It's all about, first of all, identifying with your base, these angry white men. And B, it's about, well, I tried. You know, that's what it is with Trump. I tried. Couldn't do it, but they would, and Democrats wouldn't let me. They wouldn't work with me. That's what it's all about. No, he can't do it, but trying anyway. It looks good for his people, for his base. That's what I expect from them. Trump, honestly, aberration, man. It's a joke. It's just aberration. Every meaningful thing you can put there, he's a joke. And anybody that supports him at this point, it tells me a lot about their state of mind and really who and what they are. I find it interesting in white people are really willing to sacrifice their children for white supremacy. I find it very intriguing to see that. They are really willing to sacrifice their children to defend and promote white supremacy. And I just... Because listen, man, white supremacists, these mass shooters, they're targeting everybody. This guy at UNCC was a white guy and shot 2 white people. Killed 2 white guys. He, shot him. I don't think he was really aiming. Killed 2 white guys. So what I'm saying is, just because you're a white person, that doesn't mean you're going to be safe when the next white mass shooter strikes. And if you think so, you're a damn fool. You can talk about Farrakhan all you want, and Antifa, and Obama. You can talk about Valerie Jarrett. You can talk about all these social maladies. You can talk about all these, all the talking points conservatives want to use. But at the end of the day, when that man walks in school, your kid's school with a gun, none of that's going to matter. None of that matters. And to try to twist the narrative to say that because a mass shooter did not agree with Trump on everything, he didn't support Trump, that's nonsense, man. Like, you smarter than that. Y'all conservatives, y'all got to be smarter than that. Trump makes them think the world that they have imagined of white supremacy is possible. It's not beyond the veil. It's right down the corners, right across the street. You can do it. It's possible. And he started that after Charlottesville by saying, well, they're very fine people on both sides. That's where that began. I'm not sure you could do anything now, even if he wanted to. That's a reality. That's just straight up reality, man. At this point, I can't hold my tongue. I won't. I'm entrenched. As a black man, there's a war right now. There's a war going on. And you must take a side. You must. If you're going, I find it so intriguing. I say it every day, but it's about that we're living in a time where the Caucasian male he's really at war with his own society. He's at war with his own system that his ancestors created. No one is safe. They're not going to talk about this stuff. I don't expect them to, especially with Trump in office. I don't expect them to. But we're really living in a time where they're at war with their own people. They're at war with their own system. They're at war with their own society. And I don't really know what to say about it. I don't really know what to say to that. to see that. It's everybody's in danger, man. Nobody is safe. And that's my point I'm trying to make. If you want to be a Trump supporter or whatever, hey, that's your business. But if you're trying to invoke the name of Farrakhan and comparing him to a Dylan Roof, you're just stupid. And I'll tell you to your face, you're just stupid. You're stupid, and your rhetoric puts a lot of people's lives in danger. You know what you do when you do that? You are really legitimizing you, Mr. Trump reporter out there. You are giving a sort of legitimacy, kind of like a payback. And it's sick because Trump's been in office 2 years, and you're still talking about payback. You know what I mean? Like to me, if he doesn't start a war when we get out of office, that'd be my number one thing about Trump is the presidency revenge. Presidency revenge. That's all it was. It was all about revenge and payback, and it was not about bringing America forward in any way. It was about payback and rolling back all of the social gains of Obama and all the social gains, the things he tried to do. You know, it's just about payback and destroying everything he tried to do, and just you look at these videos, you just see the hate in their eyes, man. You see the hate in these crackers' eyes. It's just really it's disconcerting. But as I said before, Trump legitimized this. He legitimized this kind of society. He did this. He made it to where it's okay. Remember, it's okay to be white? He made it to it's okay. So, anybody out there that's trying to... Let me tell you something, man. These white supremacist groups in the Marines and all that stuff. Why that's okay. Security force is going to always have fascists in the ranks because fascism is protecting society or protecting the very rich. That's a part of capitalism, fascism. Corporations running the show. Alex Jones, I feel like if he had, instead of going for Trump, if he had legitimized, if he had magnified on fascism, because he talked about corporations back in the day. He talked about that. You know, and how he had corporations doing pollution. He went in on this stuff. I learned a lot about pollution and corporate grief from Alex Jones. I really did. He was on RT back in the day. And then I didn't understand why he stopped, because he was shifting gears. He wanted to get in on the right-wing revolution, the rights revolution, Donald Trump. That was coming. I didn't see it then. It's kind of like when they had the South African thing going on, and Sessions came out and said, well, the DOJ will not be used for politics. I couldn't understand why I was like, why would he say that? And it was because Trump had asked him to not file charges on two of his buddies. One of them had insider trading, and one of them had, I think, something else. And Sessions was like, nah, I'm gonna let them do what they got to do, prosecute them. And Trump, and then he also said, he was like, I'm not going to go in with this lie on me to tell. He recused himself, and Trump had him fired. And Trump, it's crazy. It's crazy because Trump, when you really look at him, he is the very opposite of this tough guy, cowboy rancher. Like, he didn't even have the balls to tell Sessions he was fired. Like, all that shit with LBJ and McNamara was trying to tell him the war in Vietnam was lost twice. Like, man, the war lost. LBJ was like, you know, I respect what you're saying, but I can't have you here. He gave him the Medal of Freedom, and they were like, well, did he quit? Was he fired? He was fired, man. But he was fired in a respectful way. It's not personal. I just can't have you on here because I want to go to war, and you're trying to end the war. And I always tell, but I kind of respect Sessions and I respect Mattis, because in the end of the day, they stood for what they said they stood for. Like, what they ended their tenure at Trump's White House the way they came in. They're not characters. They're not like they went in there and they lied and twisted up stories like Barr and and took stuff and changed up. They didn't do that. They're the same men walking out that White House they were when they first came in. And I respect that. You know, like Denzel said, if you're going to be a dirty cop, be dirty all the time. Don't try to twist it up. Be dirty all the time. You be good all the time. Don't try to twist it up. Be one way. Straight talk. None of this flowery, no. Straight up. You know, speak your truth. And then be willing to die on that truth. That's what men do. But he couldn't even tell him he was fired. He sent him an email. I think he went on Facebook, or he went on Twitter. He went on Twitter, and that's how the dude found out Trump had fired him. That's some cowardly shit right there, man. To me, Trump is a coward in every meaning of the word. He's a coward, big time. And conservatives I think they've put a code of personality behind Trump that, I'm just not even sure really exists with Trump. I'm just not even sure it exists with him. The things that he says, the things that they put out there for him, doesn't exist, man. Not real. They present him in the light. See, it'd be one thing if he was, but he's not. He's not a charismatic leader. He just knew that the country was moving left on Iraq war, other things, and Hillary didn't. Not saying that Trump is going to have less war. Hell no. Remember InfoWars came out talking about how Trump was trying to get out of Syria, or trying to get out of one of those wars. And they were like, yeah, the liberals don't want him to get out. And then he didn't. I'm like, y'all are so fucking stupid. He tricked you. We don't support him. We know Trump is a liar. We don't trust nothing he says. It's not about getting out the war or getting in a war. We don't trust him. He lies. Every time he opens his mouth is a lie. Every time he opens his mouth, every third word is a lie. Every third sentence is a lie. We know this. We know that's a fact. It's not personal. That's not personal. That's fact. If a person lies, they lie. Stop it. And then it come to find out he wasn't going to get out. And that was just lies. A lot of things Trump says, and then people in the White House are like, he said what? They're like, I don't know anything about that. He's a liar. There's no truth behind it. You're dealing with a president that'll say anything it takes at any given time to please a third of the population, a fourth of the population. I'm kind of happy to see that in the polls I'm looking at that all these young Republicans coming up, they don't support Israel. Not like these folks do. There's a cultural shift going on. And a part of me thinks that Trump is a catalyst, if that makes sense. He's a catalyst that must take place for America to change. It's kind of like if I tell you about war, but you've never been to war, you're not going to understand it. You may even argue with me until you go to war. You're like, oh, that's why he said that. Because you see the elephant. You see, that's how I feel about Trump, that if he wasn't elected, these people talk about Trump being reelected. He may be reelected. It could totally happen. I don't know. It could happen. Totally possible, but it does seem to be some cultural shift going on right now. Legalizing marijuana and other things going on. And I feel like Trump, he's going to do a lot of damage to America. But he's really he's lost. Like, if he come in back in the 80s with the shit he talks about now, he'd be more successful. Because it was okay to do some of the things he does and things he talks about. But the fact that he is a liar and a very immoral person, and he uses people. Like Professor Griff said, when we had the refugee, the Muslim ban, he didn't give you a 24-hour notice, 10-hour notice, none. He just did it. Just did. I think that when you do stuff like that, you piss off a lot of people behind closed doors. You really do, because some of these people out here, they really believe in America. They really believe in the military. I don't mean like put up the blue light flag. I'm talking about like they actually go out here and do volunteer work. A lot of people on Fox News talking about this shit. when I talk about class war and I talk about the culture wars, I'm talking about people that support the military, but they don't actually do anything to support the military. It's just about saying, "Oh, black folks don't want to," so they just want to get free stuff. That's what that's about. But yet, what money did you put towards the veterans? Ilhan Omar, say what you want. She's doing things for 9/11, the 9/11 people who are still sick. But yet you calling her a terrorist. But she's actually doing things to make sure they keep getting money. Your conservatives aren't doing that. Hello, somebody. It's very easy to call people unpatriotic when you yourself aren't doing anything. That's what I expect from them. It's just about virtue signaling to a base that's angry and full of rage, and it's just of a reprobate mind. And I say it very often that you can't reason with debased people if we are to move to a desired end. You can't reason with them. They're not acting reasonable. You can't do that. People are just so full of hate and full of rage and so angry. You had a guy come on Fox News and tell you nationwide on television, all I do is vote and buy guns. That's what he said. You can't reason with that. He's telling you, white man, this is our country, and I'm not even gonna cooperate no more. I'm no longer even interested in cooperating with the country or with interacting with the political mechanisms of the country. I'm done. So that's basically what he told you. And that's not a recording or something I heard or conspiracy theory hearsay. That was on nationwide television. Peace out.